Tell the whole story?
Yeah, the whole story. So something you've done that most people haven't. And what's your name and profession?
I'm Douglas Hackett. I am a substitute teacher right now, aspiring to be a full-time teacher.
All right. And what is something you've done that you wouldn't be ashamed for your kids to someday see?
Started working at a daycare center, and at that daycare center I met a fellow employee who was telling me grand stories about how he knew Jerry Buss and whatnot. And
Jerry Buss, the Lakers owner?
The Lakers owner.
Okay.
How he's personal friends with them. And one day on a Friday, the kid says, "What are you doing after work?" And I said, "Nothing." He says, "Why don't you drive up with me and we'll go to a game?" And I say, "Oh, okay, do you mind if I bring a friend?" He says, "All right, well, just bring one." So I called a girl I knew. Her name was Ellen, and she thought I was crazy. I thought it was crazy. We drive up there with this guy, and sure enough, we get not only do we walk right through the turnstiles at the Staples Center, we walk up the stairs, we get on a private elevator, and next thing you know, we're in Jerry Buss's private skybox.
Was Jerry Buss actually there?
He was actually there.
Oh, cool.
With an entourage of girls, and it was a brand spanking new Staples Center. I think it was probably only, their first season definitely there, but probably 10 games in. And
it's funny you say an entourage of girls, because when he was in Carlsbad, he was with a girl that was like in her 20s.
Yeah, there was a gaggle of girls with him. There were so many that it was hard to find a spot to sit. And he actually kicked one of the girls out to give us for him to sit there. Kicked a row of girls out to give us front row seats next to him.
Now, did you get to meet any Lakers because of this?
After the game, we followed him. My friend Gary was like, "Get up, going with him." And we walked into a private elevator and took us right down, straight onto the floor, and we got to walk right across that brand spanking new court while the Lakers were doing interviews, and walk past Jack Nicholson, and I was too afraid to make any kind of like, oh my god.
Now, was anything like Jack Nicholson shorter than you thought, or Shaquille O'Neal taller?
Shaquille was basically huge, yeah. Jack was pretty, he was Jack. He was intimidating. I kind of did a circle around him. We passed Kobe Bryant doing an interview, and we walked straight through the inlet into the locker room. Or no, we're in a hall, and there's a bunch of reporters trying to get through the security. There's fans, and everybody just parted like the Red Sea for Jerry. And we walked right through with them. Security didn't harass us. We're in the locker room, and I'm tripping because they're naked Lakers in there already. And I'm just like, oh my god. And we come up to a door, it looks like it's going to be a janitor door to this locker room. And
it was the Laker cheerleaders.
And it was Jerry Buss's private bar. His own bartender, his own stash of liquor, big enough to hold probably about 50 people.
Interesting.
We sat down with his girls and him and drank and talked to him till wee hours in the morning. And he invited us back to his house, and I rightfully declined because I felt like I had soaked off of,
So would you say drinking with Jerry Buss is probably the most famous person you've ever shared a drink with? Although Buss isn't necessarily a household name because he's a Laker owner in LA. Maybe.
I shared a drink with Slash once, but he's
Slash from Guns N' Roses.
To be with the LA elite, definitely people who actually run the scene of LA, We got a chance to go to one of his parties at his house a couple weeks after that, and that's where I got to kind of know him a little better. And,
cool. My last question then is, can you get me Laker tickets for the playoffs?
I couldn't get an autograph. I couldn't really get into any more games. It seemed like he wanted to give me a taste of it to show that he knew Jerry Buss, and after that he quit.
That's cool.
There went my connection to Jerry Buss.
All right, thanks.